Hello and welcome back to our lessons. Today we are talking about positioning yourself in the 21st century marketplace. My name is Joyce Dairo. You're watching Intentional Living. When I interact with young people, I often ask myself if the young people have a clue about the century that we are living in and the requirements and the disruption that there is in the 21st century. Then the reality of the future of work. Because my friends, disruption is real. Whatever we were doing 5 years ago is not what we are doing today. What does that tell us? That whatever we'll be doing in the next 5 years is very different from what we are doing today. In fact, somebody said that the jobs of the year 2030 are not known. So the skills that will be required in the year 2030 are not known. And that is why it is important for us to understand how to position ourselves in the 21st century marketplace. Upwork Quarterly Skills Index 2018 said that 70% of the growing skills are new into the index. In fact, the children joining primary school now do not know the jobs, or we do not know the jobs the children who are joining primary school now will be doing in their adulthood. That is the reality of the disruption, and we must be intentional in being able to position ourselves in this kind of disruption. What do we need to do so that we equip ourselves with the skills necessary for the 21st century marketplace? The first thing is to embrace lifelong learning. In fact, the literate of the 21st century are not those who know. The literate of the 21st century are those who are willing to learn. They discover that the knowledge they have is obsolete. They unlearn it in readiness for relearning. Those are the literate of the 21st century. So, lifelong learning is very, very important for us to survive in the 21st century marketplace. Why do I talk about lifelong learning? If you think about the equipment, the machines that they are bringing into the market today, they are different from what we are used to. So we have to embrace lifelong learning, otherwise our skills will become obsolete and we will not be able to thrive in the marketplace of the 21st century. The marketplace of the 21st century is characterized by automation. There's a lot of automation in the 21st century marketplace. We are talking about machine learning and artificial intelligence. We are also talking about robotics. And these are key issues. We have seen even robots replacing people in supermarkets. This is a new reality, and we might not hide our heads in the sand in thinking and taking action about this new reality. We have also observed how the disruption is, for example, shifting the media. In our country today, people are complaining about the closure of media houses, the laying off of staff. But in reality, in as much as we may be talking about the economy doing badly, this is as a result of disruption. For example, the income they were relying on advertisements has shifted to social media. For example, if somebody has a new product or service, they just need to get there on social media and market themselves almost for free. And this is a new reality to media houses. And we need to think about this. We also saw how the transport industry has been affected. Platforms like Uber has caused a disruption in the taxi industry, let's say globally. We have also seen how Airbnb is actually affecting the hotel industry. These are the new realities that we have to think about. And remember, we cannot fight these things. We just need to know how do we position ourselves so that we can be relevant in the 21st century marketplace. So, you may also think about your industry. How is the disruption going to affect your industry? Because these are things that are going to affect all the industries. Today we are talking about telecommuting. People do not have to go to work physically for them to create value at their place of work. What disruption has that caused? Let's say tenancy. People are complaining that in near towns people are not able to get tenants. I think it's about telecommuting. Organizations now are realizing that instead of making people spend a lot of time on the roads commuting to work, telecommuting has taken the place of commuting to work every day. People are now having flexed times. People go to work at certain times, and all these are the disruptions in the 21st century marketplace. With all these disruptions, should we panic? My answer is yes and no. And I want to take you back to history. When we moved to industrial revolution, people thought they would not be able to survive because machines came to replace the manual workers. But did the situation become bad or worse? When we talked about digital revolution, when computers replaced human labor, did the disruption make the situation bad or worse? My answer again is yes and no. Why yes? The situation deteriorated for those people who thought that we can always do things this way. The rigid, or what Carol Dweck calls a fixed mindset. People who think that we can always do things this way. Life became unbearable for them because they were easily, their skills became obsolete. And yes, for those people who are adaptable, they embrace the new things that are coming and continue being relevant, gaining new skills so that they can create value in the new dispensation. And at this particular point, I want to say the situation will become worse for those with a fixed mindset, and it will become better for those with a growth mindset, people who are willing to go out there, to move out of their comfort zone, to be able to embrace technology. Today we have so many people, so many young people in Kenya who are working globally online. That is a disruption, and people have realized that they can easily take advantage of that new disruption. In fact, I hear politicians talking about how people in diaspora are bringing in billions, and in my own small way, I know those billions are coming to people who are working locally online. Millions of young Kenyans are working online. That is a disruption, and people have decided to take advantage of that particular disruption. So yes, things will be worse for those with a fixed mindset, and things will be better for those with a growth mindset. So my friend, I would encourage you to embrace a growth mindset so that you are able to leverage on the new opportunities that are coming into the 21st century marketplace. What are the implications of all this? First and foremost, full-time employment will be translated into tasks and projects where people will be recruiting individuals to act or perform short-term projects and tasks. Secondly, the society will adjust to freelancing, where Individuals will be freelancers offering their services from one company to another, one organization to another. Thirdly, literacy will shift from what we know it today to lifelong learning. Fourthly, education institutions will become places where skills building and retraining will be happening, because when new skills are required, institutions of learning will become centers of retraining. There will be emergency of non-employment work, and as I've mentioned earlier, we have many people working on online platforms. That is what we are calling non-employment work and non-employment income. In fact, many people are making good livelihoods doing those non-employment work. In conclusion, to be able to thrive in the 21st century marketplace, we need to equip ourselves with the relevant skills that are required in the marketplace. And we need to understand that these skills should not be static, because the marketplace itself is highly dynamic. So we need to embrace long life learning. Secondly, we need to conduct a SWOT analysis in line with what we have discussed in this lesson, so that we are able to know what our strengths are and to be able to leverage on them. We need to know what our weaknesses are, so that we are able to mitigate against the effects of those weaknesses. Thirdly, we need to position ourselves at the convergence of our strengths and the 21st century marketplace requirements. Fourthly, we need to take absolute personal responsibility of our lives. This is not the time to blame the government, to blame the economy, to blame our education system, but we need to take responsibility of our lives, responsibility of how we are going to gain skills, the relevant skills that are required in the marketplace, and we go forth and we take action. The 21st century marketplace is disruptive, and we need to be adaptable so that we can thrive in the said marketplace.